Hey, good morning guys. So this morning I got something special for you. You know when you've had a long break from flying, like now, when you get back to the hill, you often forget what you're supposed to be doing. So in this video, I'll show you what to check, what exercises you can do, and how to develop a perfect launch in light wind conditions. Getting to the launch site with your gear and just starting out, what I would normally do is just a basic daily equipment inspection. I start with my harness. You're looking at things like your reserve, easy to pull out. Have a look at the bottom of your harness, which is something that you don't often look at. Have a look over the risers. And to be honest, I just give this a cursory check. Just keeping an eye on your equipment regularly helps keep you safe. Have a look at the leading edge and looking for tears and rips. I use a standard setup. I go to the side of my glider so it can't pull me. I always do this sort of check. I'm looking at my speed bar is running, and I go up to my leg straps, check them. I go up to my chest strap points, reserve, carabiners, come up to this little strap, helmet, got some lighter gloves. It's always a good idea to have gloves on if you can. Right, check out my risers, my brake lines. I always get my brakes on. Whenever I have a problem, if I just put my hands out like that, I know I've got the brakes. If you don't like having your hands through the brakes, you can always, once you've launched, slip to that position. Conditions are very light. So in light conditions, you want your wing to be laid out nicely. What I'm doing is I'm feeding out the lines in my hand. Now I can come over to my other riser, my other wingtip here, and I can pull this one out in a bit of a V shape. It just gives you your best chance of inflating nice and cleanly. Going out of the end of the lines. And it's a trick here to get the tangles out of the lines. If you run your hands up as if you're bunching it, and then you put a bit of tension on the lines, and then you just pull down through the lines like that. Now I'm getting all the lines the same sort of tension. They're all tensioned up. Much easier to see what I need to clear. And always clear out your brake lines. Everything's set up nicely. Got my risers on top. Check that my A's are on top. And at this point, my brakes are just loose around my hands like that. So in light conditions, you've got to be careful that you're not pulling on the brakes with your arms out like that. You'll start pulling on the brakes. Keep your hands close. And I'm just going to give it a bit of an impulse and get it up. Just give it a step back and punch. Go. Put a brake on. And now I'm going to just try and keep it up overhead. It's tricky because it's very light. But controlling the wing in these sort of conditions is very, very good because it will really teach you about your stall point. And I'm just reacting to any changes in the airflow with my feet. So I'm trying to stay centered underneath the middle of the wing. As your wing gets older, if it's out of trim or if it's wet, you'll find in these sort of conditions you'll notice it, because when you've got the brakes on like this, it's going to start stalling, dropping back. That's a sure sign that you need your glider trim checked. And usually just taking the wing to the side, turning it, bringing it back the other way. And the whole time you're trying to keep it off the ground, keep it flying, keep it alive. Try to walk around the windsock, keeping it flying. Don't let it touch the ground. Otherwise, as jockey would say, nil point. Let's try and feel what the glider's doing without looking at it. It's not so easy when it's light, but I'm using my weight, my body, to try and balance underneath the glider. So whenever it moves, I'm just moving my legs to find that balance point. Shouldn't be doing too much on the brakes, most of it's on the legs. What we can also do in light conditions is practice launching it from a mess, which is as it's landed now. You need a bit of an impulse, and then ease it up. So practice bringing it down, letting it drop, and then trying to bring it up without letting it touch the ground. It's very, very light now. Put it down. Trick is just as it's about to touch down and you pull the brakes back like that. It helps to clear the wing and gives you a chance to relaunch it because the leading edge is nice and open. Alright, it's a little bit more wind now, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the launch run. What you're trying to achieve is to get the glider to be ever so slightly ahead of you. If you're trying to run off and your wing's slightly behind you, what happens is that sort of thing. Okay, the wing's fighting you and you really don't get a good launch. In the same conditions, if I let the wing go slightly, just slightly ahead of me, there. Just gives a little bit of speed. You're trying to get the wing to actually pull you off the hill rather than you pulling the wing off the hill. But if you let the wing search too much in front of you, it's going to do that. Practice, practice. Okay, so you don't want it slightly ahead and then letting it go. As soon as you feel that feeling there, I can fly. And that's really worth practicing over and over. It's just keeping the wing overhead like this and playing with this feeling of, oh, I can't fly now, I haven't got enough lift, there's a bit of turbulence coming over me now, and then that feels quite nice. So you just play with that. Just getting your feet off the ground in that perfect moment when, there. Yep, that's nicely flying. You can do that over and over and over again, just keeping yourself close, feeling the wing, getting the feeling. And you'd hold it back on the brakes just a touch while you're waiting. And then when you get that feeling, you're letting the glider pull the brakes up and get some speed. Light wind days can be a great opportunity to practice simple launch procedures and you do your safety drills. Do you have any good tips for refreshing your skills after a break? Leave a comment down below. If you know any pilots who might benefit from this video, share it. In the extended edition, I talk about aborting, bad habits, hazards, what causes knots in the lines and how to get them out, and many added tips in the full 44-minute refresher tutorial. If you want to dive deeper into paragliding knowledge and develop your skills further, hop over to flywithgreg.com. Thanks for joining me on the hill. See you soon.